Hello. Hello, anti-society. Hello. Good morning, if it's morning like it is for me. As we wait for everybody to show up a little bit. And I take a sip of tea. Oh my goodness, I'm not awake fully yet. Good morning, everyone. How are we? Oh, I guess I should tell Discord. Hang on. I gotta do the YouTubey things. I am professionals. Hang on. Oh, I can't spell. Whew. Okay. Hello. Now that I'm fully here. Do I have ramen with me? No, it is currently 9 o'clock in the morning for me. So I have tea and ambition. I don't know. But we're gonna chat about some things. I have like an actual plan. Be proud of me. I have like things that we're gonna actually talk about ahead of time. I thought about it. Hello. Okay. Be super proud of me. I made notes. I have an idea of what I want to talk about and I made notes. Yeah, I'm not saying that the evidence for me maybe being the child of Eisen are mounting up, but I have a plan. Yeah. But or just like I really want to do more live stream things, but I always like, what do we even do? And I'm just like sitting here chatting with you guys and I never have like an actual thing to talk about and I feel weird about it because, socially anxious people things. So I made a plan of things to talk about because I'm good at planning and it brings me comfort to have a script to social interactions. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about some stuff that have happened recently in anime specifically. Um, so and then we're gonna chat about Thousand Year Blood War Part 1 because we have to. I feel like we need like a roundup of it, after I finished it finally, a little bit late. Okay. So, first thing that I want to talk about, and maybe this is just something that's like on my brain, is that we're getting another part of Made in Abyss. Now, this has been plaguing my brain. I made a short about it when it was like announced, but it's been in my brain ever since because like I have thoughts, like so before I was just like, that's really cool. I love Made in Abyss. I mean, in Abyss is great. I want some more of it. I still haven't caught up on it, so I don't know why I'm excited about it. But like, don't you know? Don't come for me because I haven't finished it. And so I I was like, yeah, let's have some more Made in Abyss. And then I was kind of seeing what other people were saying about it because that's what I do. I lurk on other anime channels, and sometimes I interact. Though people are intense in other people's comment sections. I'm like so thankful for you guys because we're like so chill here compared to other comment sections is wild. Anyway, and so I was seeing what other people were talking about it, and I kind of get it now because I haven't read the manga, so I didn't have any context for that. But apparently, there's only like 4 chapters left of the manga, which means like a few things are gonna happen with the sequel. It's either them just saying, "Yes, we're absolutely going to do more," so chill, or they're gonna make maybe a film because there's less chapters, and then they won't have to worry about like meeting like a 12 episode runtime. Or they're gonna do anime only material, which I think is where people are getting a little bit anxious about things. Because anime only material, mixed bag. I think we can all agree to that. That there's a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to that. Sometimes it's okay. Most of the time it's bad. So it's just something that's been like in my brain. I've been thinking about it and I'm like, that's a good point. It's a good point where like I'm like just excited because I'm like assuming that it'll be great and we can just continue the story because I'm used to like long running like Shonen Jump manga where there's just so much and I don't have to worry about there only being a few chapters left. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Obviously, we don't have any details about like a release or anything like that or what it's going to focus on. So it's not really something that should be sticking in my noggin as much as it is, but that's just some thoughts I've been having about it since it was like announced. Yes, it is a big cup. We call it my Titan mug. I got a new one. There's a new Titan mug in my house now. Is it technically for soup? Yes. Do I exclusively drink hot beverages out of it? Absolutely. But it's being washed right now, so I don't have it with me. Yeah, see, I'm like, there it probably isn't gonna happen for a while, but it could, especially with like the popularity of Made in Abyss, that they're they possibly could just release stuff because they want there to be something for people to watch that are a fan of it. So we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, there isn't anything like out about like details about it. So this is all just like speculation about what's going on. Um my goodness, my voice is not doing great. That's another update in my life. Um Another thing that has happened is the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, which I also talked a little bit about, but can we talk about how much I don't I feel like is it just me or is it like 10 shows? I didn't actually count. I didn't do the math. Um but there's like a lot of things that could have been in the anime awards. There's lots of potential, lots of categories, lots of shows that can be underneath those categories. And there's like 10 shows, right? Like I'm not crazy about this. I just, you know, it's 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 one of those things where like I want to like it because it's like a fan voted award show and I'm like enough of a radical thinker that I'm like, yeah, there shouldn't be these like systems deciding things. Let the people vote. But at the same time, it's like what? Attack on Titan, Spy Family, some other shows that I like didn't watch. But like, okay, but Spy Family for like best supporting character, which I have some arguments about with what we count as supporting characters in Spy Family because we seem to disagree on this one. But also, like for supporting character, I think there was like six to choose from or something like that. Two of them are Spy Family. It's Yor and Anya. And I'm like, do we need two supporting characters from the same show? I just feel like there's so much. Maybe look. I feel like someone's gonna say I'm just salty because A Thousand Year Blood War isn't anywhere to be found, which is something else we can talk about because we all know that it was like that was topping the charts of popularity for like the whole time episodes were coming out. And I'm just like, where is it? Where Bleach? We don't know her. Like it's I don't know. Do any of us really care anymore? I feel like I want to care, but at the same time, it just seems it just seems like there's not enough diversity there. You like it's only when you get to like the really niche categories at like the bottom that you start to see like other shows pop up. And I'm just I don't know. I just feel like there should we should shake it up a bit. I feel like there should be a limit on how many categories a show can be in. Right? Like it can be in like 3 or something. And you got to choose wisely. I just want to care about something that maybe makes people like celebrates anime. That's my thought. What happened? Canceling the author. I mean, there are plenty of manga creators we could cancel. Are we going to be mad that a author is like mean to them? I mean, we didn't cancel lots of other shows, like other manga that are violent and bad things happen. I mean, Berserk, we're all sad about that, that we're not going to get more. I feel like Berserk is probably worse than Made in Abyss to its characters. Yeah, okay, it doesn't include fall season, which is like fine, I guess. But at the same time, I don't know. There's just like I just feel like there needs to be a limit. I want us to really encapsulate the diversity of what anime is and not have it just be like the 6 shows that everybody talks about. And like it's usually like a sequel of some kind. They already have like a fan base, so they have like something like Attack on Titan, right? Is like super powerful, super popular in its own right, which is fine, but it is also a continuation of a series that's been around for years. So it has a huge fan base. So of course, lots of people are going to watch it. They're going to watch it regardless of quality because they want to see the end of the series. And that's not me saying it's better or worse because I don't know. I didn't watch it. But it's like you have to prove that people are gonna watch that show. Of course they are. There's gonna be a huge wave of people watching it. Same with Bleach though. Like I acknowledge that that's also a thing. Um, but it just seems unfair to put something like Attack on Titan that has years to build a fan base and then say, oh, and now like a new show has to compete against that. Oh, I guess there was some Demon Slayer, wasn't there also? I didn't watch Demon Slayer. No. I Okay, here's partly I haven't watched Demon Slayer because it's one of those shows that people have asked me to react to, but I've also been hesitant because the Rising Sun earrings. I can't I can't get over it. It bothers me a lot. And it probably shouldn't, but it does. And so I just kind of I don't know. I've put it off. It bothers me. um I'm reading comments, excuse me. Yeah, is it like a I mean, then are we mad at My Hero Academia? Because that's underage kids going through gruesome situations, and we call them heroes for it. So I feel like there's probably some issues to that one. I mean, Hunter x Hunter? Anyone? I mean, that show is brutal. but it's not for like I feel like people are like Made in Abyss has underage characters going through awful things, but it's like Made in Abyss isn't made for underage kids though. Like I feel like that's the difference there is it's not a kids show. So it's not like showing kids gruesome stuff. It's just like acknowledging that kids also go through awful stuff based on the life that they're born into. Drinking tea ASMR. I really don't like ASMR, but if you hear me swallow loudly, I'm sorry. What do the earrings mean? So the rising sun is a flag in Japan of Imperial Japan, which is famous for trying to it's kind of like uh the British Empire. Um and if you ask anyone from Korea, they will have very strong feelings about Imperial Japan. I encourage you to look it up, educate yourself, get some history. Um, and I don't know, it's like it's such a it frames the main character's face, right? And it's such a strong political ideology to force into the story, and I feel like it's not important to the story. Um, and I don't know, and I like Korean media, and it's on my channel, and I just feel like it would be very insensitive of me to just be like, "Hey, let me watch a thing that has that kind of imagery in it." It's something that I have contemplated a lot. I've yeah, go I'm not the right person to educate you on that particular part of history because it is something far removed from me, so I encourage you to go and learn about it, from people who are more directly affected by it than I am. Um, oh, and the other thing that I wanted to talk about was that there are a bunch of people now in the West where I am who can watch Summertime Rendering and not have a internal moral crisis about it because it's on Hulu. So if you're in the US, you can now watch it, and you probably should. Have I only watched the first 3 episodes? Yes, but it was really good when I watched it, and I have to get back to it. I will soon. But it was on Disney Plus for a bunch of other places. Maybe it wasn't it was. It was. There's no way you grow up in Japan and you don't know what that flag means. Like that'd be like people like with the Confederate flag in the US being like, I didn't know what it meant. It just I don't buy it. Art lessons live stream. I haven't taught art in forever. I mean, I feel like there would have to be a want for that, but let me know, I guess. Oh, my voice. It's too early in in the morning. I haven't spoken enough before this. Okay, and now for the main topic of this stream. Let's talk about Thousand Year Blood War. My thoughts on it, okay? um, I have a lot of thoughts about it. This is like the majority of my notes for the stream is like all of my thoughts about it. So one thing is that can we talk about how good the coloring and the lighting choices were for this? Because it was so good, and I feel like this is part of what I really liked about the Fullbring arc was I loved the lighting choices in that arc. I thought it was so good. I thought it was so stylistic, and it made it so like distinct from not only the rest of Bleach but also shonen in general. And I feel like they just pulled that into this season while also like harkening back to the rest of the style of the show. So it was like this wonderful balance of when they needed something that was very stylized and unique, they used those lighting choices. And then they used lots of symbolism with the coloring. And it was just so good. I loved it. I loved how with the darkness of some of the scenes, where it was just really good. Like it was just it made my artist heart happy in ways I can't really explain. And I feel like I need to just like get screenshots and paint things because it was good. um and then and other thing is that I feel like I have to like go back and rethink characters. I feel like I can't talk about it yet because I feel like I have to fully go through and like think about all the things and almost go back. I feel like this arc with Thousand Year Blood War makes me want to rewatch like all of Bleach. I'll probably do it through like I'll probably watch someone's reactions. Like I'll probably go back and I'll like watch through it with someone else because then I get some thoughts and I get to like catch up on reaction stuff, but then also I get to kind of relive it and get my thoughts together. I know I talked in my last live stream about doing like character analysis videos, and I feel like I really have to do that now because I have so many ideas post Thousand Year Blood War of how I think about certain characters or like their relationship to other characters and stuff like that. That it's got to happen at some point. I got to do it, but I need time to do all of the things. Um, one thing that is a slight critique, I guess, as I shift uncomfortably because don't get mad at me, but I feel like the only critique I have is that I felt like the pacing was a little bit fast for me. And maybe that's because I didn't read the manga, so I didn't have the story already. It wasn't like I knew the story, I knew the things that were gonna happen. I had years to contemplate it like some other people. So the pacing was a little bit weird for me, but at the same time, I get it because I feel like they were going to like they wanted to get to the point where they ended on, right? Like they wanted to get to I feel like okay, spoiler ahead. If you're still here and you haven't caught up on Thousand Year Blood War and you don't want to be spoiled about things, I'm about to get into some spoiler territory, so leave and then watch it and then you can come back. um but they wanted to end the part on Ichigo getting his Zanpakuto, right? Like that's like where they wanted to end. So they needed to get through all the stuff to get there. So I get why the pacing was a little bit quick, but I also felt like it didn't have the time to breathe that I wanted it to. There were so many things where I wanted to spend time in like the impact of certain information or actions or things that were going on and we just didn't have time, and I feel like that is partly reflected in like being stuck in a war or a conflict where you don't really have time to think about it. But yeah, it was a little bit too quick for me and I would have wanted some of that, but at the same time I don't know how they could have done it because it's like if they had finished it either in the like 13 episodes they had, or it probably would have been drawn out to like 24 or 25 episodes, and I think that would have been too long. So I don't really know what the Goldilocks zone is for that. Um, but I would have liked a little bit more of the like reaction to stuff happening as opposed to just being super plot heavy. But I feel like we might get into that because the last few episodes were a lot more reflective for Ichigo anyway. So I feel like we're going to be getting into that maybe as we're in this like in between of the like invasion and then whatever happens next. So I don't really know what'll happen, but I have thoughts. I have some predictions. Oh, my voice is angry at me though. For it's like, why are you talking so much this early in the morning? What are we doing? Um, did my reaction get screwed done? No, it did not. It's just not up yet. I think it got blocked somewhere, but that happens with music. Collab? I would love to. I watch their videos all the time. I think they're super funny. Um, Let them know that I exist. I should let them know I exist more. Sometimes I comment on their videos. Maybe I have to be a little bit more like my own hype man. Just like watch all of their Bleach reactions and comment on everything until they know that I exist. Oh, I was like, the duck. And I'm like, oh, the logo. I had no part in the duck. I like that there's a duck though. I was thinking for a second, I'm like, do I have a duck plushie? I don't remember. Yeah, it's like it's a lot. It's a lot condensed into one episode, which I again, I understand they wanted to get to a certain point, but it still felt uh like a lot. Yeah. But I feel like also I kind of forgave it in the first few episodes because I feel like there was so much hype and anticipation that I'm like, yeah, of course they want to get through a bunch of stuff and they want to have that fast paced and like pull people into the story, and they've been waiting so long that they're gonna want to get through a bunch of it. It just like continued for a really long time, and until like again the last few episodes where I felt like it like really got like the brakes going, and it slowed down, but not like excruciatingly. It got to like a normal pace that I would like. Um, but it was just a lot for me. Just enjoying tea. I'm always enjoying tea. It's basically the only thing that I drink. Is that healthy? Probably not. But it could be soda. So, team tea, coffee or tea? Tea, always. I don't like coffee. It makes me jittery. I'm a pretty intense person anyway. I tend to fidget. I probably like how many times have I fidgeted since the stream started? So having coffee is just like amplifies that, and it doesn't wake me up. So um how do I feel about nudity being cut out? I I mean, I don't think it adds anything in this case. Like I feel like it really depends on how we're doing that. Um I think I mean I didn't think anything was lost from it being censored. So anti sign. It's awful, but it's great. I love a good pun. Um, do I collect manga? No, I don't have any manga. Any physical copies of manga. It's really hard to get physical English copies of manga in Canada. It's just a really difficult thing. You'll get like random copies of stuff, unless I guess you order it online, but then it's shipping in Canada is bananas. It is so expensive. So, uh, like it is cheaper for me to mail something to the other side of the planet than it is for me to mail something within my province. Like it's cheaper for me to just drive. So, getting manga is a difficult thing. Um, I'm like catching up on comments. I also want to talk about like predictions, what I think is going to happen, which is something I can do because I haven't read the manga. And I have some thoughts. I'm going to talk about this. Like, I want to talk about what I think about Oyui later. um, my favorite episode? I don't know. Maybe the stuff with Yamamoto's backstory, like when we got to like really see his powers. I feel like that sticks so vividly in my brain, not only because of the coolness factor, but also getting the backstory and learning more about him and like Shinsui and stuff, but also the emotional impact of that kind of bookending Yamamoto's story. I feel like it's so vivid in my brain, and I feel like that might be why I would say it's my favorite. When I think about through the episodes, like that moment pops out to me. The comedy scenes, yeah, I mean, I felt like there was enough comedy though. I felt like it was a good balance. I wasn't at any point feeling like, why are we making a joke here? Or there were a few times where like the choice of humor wasn't my thing, but I mean, everyone is entitled to have their own sense of humor. But I never felt like there was any point where I was like, well, it feels a little bit weird for us to be having a joke here, because sometimes I did with I don't know if Bleach, probably at some point I was like, this is weird that we're having a joke. Um, but with other anime too, where like something serious will be happening and some slapstick thing will be thrown in, or like fan service, and I'm just like, is this the time, or do we want to break the intensity of this moment? Whereas I felt like Bleach did a good job of like having moments where they wanted to break that tension so that it wasn't like overwhelming and like super super dark. What? What do I call black the black rectangle? My drawing tablet? Is that what you're asking about? It's a drawing tablet. It's like a pressure sensitive tablet with like a stencil, and I draw with it because I want to have a big screen, because I could you could get like a tablet, um like a normal tablet that you can also draw with, but I want to have the big screen on it so I can see what I'm drawing, and I'm not rich enough to buy a drawing tablet with a giant display in it. Someday I will live up my dream of just having like a digital drawing station, but at the moment I don't. Wait, I'm like in the comments. Do we have Barnes and Noble? I don't know. I know we can order from there. We have Indigo Chapters is kind of the big uh book buying company in Canada. Do we have a now I need to know. Barnes and Noble does not operate any stores outside of the United States. So no, we don't have a Barnes and Noble. We have Indigo. Ooh, I don't know if I have any. Okay, so I want to get into some prediction stuff, and this kind of catapults me back into my train of thought. I don't actually know what if I have any predictions for Shinsui. I really don't know what's going to happen because I feel like I don't know him super super well, but also I feel like he's so different now that he's in charge, and I don't really know what he's going to do because there's like the fun laid back I'm not in charge Shinsui, and then there's the I guess I have to take this seriously Shinsui, and then there's this one who is not only in charge and needs to take things seriously, but I feel like he probably has a lot of feelings about the Quincy's at the moment, about what they did to Yamamoto. So I really don't know. I don't know what he's gonna do because I feel like when people come from a place of that strong emotion and like grieving, that they do things that even they didn't think they were fully capable of. Um, but I mean, okay, so some of my predictions for it, we're gonna have to come back to the Soul King, right? I don't know if that's gonna happen in the next part, but we saw like the tiniest bit of him, and he's been hinted at before, and we got to come back, especially with all of the stuff at the end of the series that was about like balance and acknowledging that there's all these different powers right within world. And because of that, I feel like the Soul King has to come back because he's like the like personification of like the Soul Reaper ability. So I just feel like we're going to have to come back to that. I also feel like we're going to spend so much more time with the power sets and like what they are, how they work. We've been seeing other like captains and stuff learning other techniques because they have to fill in the blanks of like losing their bankai and stuff like that. So I feel like there's going to be so much more with the power sets and like balance and that kind of a thing. And like coming back to those people who are kind of like in between, right? Like Visored and Arankar and um Fullbring and people that are like in those weird in betweens of the power sets and what they mean to all of that. And I also, okay, here's my big prediction. I think that okay, one, I think Urahara is going to be way more important to the story. And I think he's going to ask for help from Aizen. Hear me out. Because we're going to have to learn about how the power sets work and what's going on. Because we have like people losing their bankai, they're being stolen from them. We have to figure out what's going on. And the people who are the biggest experts in Soul Reaper abilities and how they interact with other abilities are Urahara and Aizen. And I feel like if you need like desperate times, I don't think that means they're gonna like be friends or that Aizen will be a better person than he is or anything like that. But I definitely feel like they're gonna ask for help. Because if anyone can probably figure that out, it's him. Like Urahara knows he's smart. And I just feel like that's gonna be a thing. Like there's no way that we kind of hint at him still being there when Yua went to visit him and like not come back to that. That's one of my I feel like that's gonna come up at some point. We also have like Mayuri's research that was like hinted that he has some secret thing going on and we just didn't actually get to see it. So I feel like we're gonna dive in a lot more into like the experimentation of abilities and what they even mean. Ooh, I'm behind on comments. Thank you all for coming, by the way. There's lots of people here, hello, commenting. I enjoy this. I like getting to chat. I really just wanted to like, I have so many thoughts in my brain that I just wanted to like interact with y'all and get some of it out. Did I see the filler episodes? I've seen some of them. I've seen some of the random filler episodes. I'm still trying to get to a point where I'm like actually sitting down and watching the filler arcs. I know, okay, I know. I need to like focus more and like do one thing. I'm trying to get to a point where I can sit down and I can like film stuff for one thing and then not have like 12 different stories in my head simultaneously. Do I think it needs a remastered version? I don't know. I don't know if it needs to be remastered. I mean, talking about like taking out the filler specifically, I don't, because I feel like you can't really do it because some of it's like in episodes, right? Where they like lengthened out the stories. But you could probably like just skip over the whole episodes. I feel like it'd be really hard to take out the filler. You could, I guess. I don't know if it's necessary. You could. I just feel like it would be a ton of work. There's so many episodes, even like in canon. Ooh. Thank you. Okay, any new old anime which you're interested in but never got around to watching? So many. So many that I haven't watched. New anime? There are a few. I mean, there's the Cyberpunk Runners thing that came out that I mean, I love Cyberpunk. I love the aesthetic of it. Lots of people are talking about liking it. There's trying to think of it. There's I'm like trying to think off the top of my head of it now. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of new anime because now that I make reactions, there's a little bit of a delay when I get to things. older anime, there's lots that I haven't watched. I haven't watched like I haven't watched One Piece. I feel like that's gonna happen at some point. It has pirates. I've never seen any of Sailor Moon, which I feel like is a bit of a crime, and I want to know. I want to know what it's like. Um, there's so many. There's so many that I hear about, and I don't get as much of a chance to like sit down and watch them as I would like. Um, Trying to think of like new anime that I'm like I should watch that. Um, Love is War, I think is one of them. People seem to really like that one. Um, Other shows that I haven't watched that are new. I feel like I'm blanking because I'm under pressure. um, is it? I mean, Odd Taxi was one that people were really talking about. I never got around to watching it. Um, Ranking of Kings, I think is what it's also called, is another one that I wanted to watch. Um, there's lots. I like whenever we just had the end of the year, right? And there's lots of people making like lists, like top anime of 2022 or whatever. And whenever I watch those videos, I realize how many shows I didn't watch. So it's like there's so many. This is a good point. Yeah, like he basically was like, I'm okay with you basically going to your death. Like I know what this is gonna mean, and I'm just like cool with it. Which is, after like years of I'm assuming like Yamamoto kind of managing that conflict. Um so it's I don't know what Shinsui's gonna do. I feel like Shinsui is willing to do a lot to protect the people that he cares about and to um and to like not crumble in this position. I mean, he's coming into power in the middle of a huge conflict. So I feel like you have to be a certain kind of person to be able to manage that. What do I think of Soifong? I'm still not a huge fan. I don't know. I don't hate her by any means. I don't know. She's not my kind of person. Our personalities don't vibe, which is okay. Ooh, chess match. I mean, it does feel like a chess match, doesn't it? It's like they all have these moves and they're kind of pushing people. Like that's part of the reason why I'm like, do I like Urahara? Yes. Do I trust him? Without a doubt? No. Because I do feel like he is in some ways manipulating all the people around him. And I don't mean that in necessarily like a malicious way or that he means that to like hurt them. I think in a lot of ways he wants to protect them. He has a lot of um you know sentimentality and he wants to protect people and make sure that they're safe, but he is willing to manipulate them to make that happen. So it's one of those things where I feel like we're all just chess pieces in their game that they're playing. Yeah, I don't think a reboot again. I don't think reboot or a remaster is like necessary. I think remaster is probably more like to happen than a reboot. I don't think it's necessary. Like, yeah, it came out a long time ago. The animation is gonna be there's gonna be a certain aspect ratio. The animation is gonna be dictated by that. But I think if you remastered it, people will get mad. I feel like maybe it would be cool if they did something kind of like they did with Naruto, where they like reanimated specific important points to kind of celebrate the show and the anniversary and stuff. I think that would be cool. I would love to see some of the stuff from the old show like reanimated just to be like, hey, look at this cool thing of like how far the show has come and how cool this specific moment can look with new animation technology and with like a whole budget being able to put on like one scene. I think that would be really cool, but I don't think the whole thing needs to be remastered. Yeah, I heard that Ranking of Kings is good, and I didn't watch it. So I think that that's one of the ones that I would need to come back to. You hate fillers? I mean, you can skip over it. Yeah, like it's easy to just kind of not watch those episodes. I didn't watch them. I skipped over them. And I'm gonna go back and we'll watch some of the fun ones, like the random filler episodes just for fun every once in a while. But um, you don't have to watch them if you don't like filler, especially now that the show has been out for a while. People will tell you what the filler episodes are. You could just skip them. So, Blur, hi. Everybody say hi to Blur. Hello. Yes, we're chatting anime today. We'll have to see if maybe I'll do some other streams where we'll chat about some other things, but I love Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter is so good. Killua is like my sweetie pie, but also dangerous. Um, it's do I want more? Of course I do, but also I understand why there isn't, and I feel like I want to rewatch it. I feel like I want to go back and rewatch Hunter x Hunter, even though it's a time commitment, but I'm willing to do it. um, what do I think the rest of War Potentials are? Ooh, I mean, yeah, see, I don't know I feel like Aizen definitely gonna come back in some capacity. I don't know if he's gonna try and take control of what's going on, or if he's just gonna be some part of it. I see, because I also don't know how long Thousand Year Blood War arc is. I'm assuming it's very long. So I don't know how much is going to be crammed into it. Ichigo definitely going to be a threat now that he doesn't have anything blocking his power, and now that it's like all together. I think it's going to take a little while for him to go through like the growing pains of figuring out his actual power and being able to use it in like an efficient and productive way. So I think there's definitely going to be some time of him figuring that out. He's going to basically have to relearn how to use his Zanpakuto. So we'll see what happens. Campeche, wild card. Usually he is. He's a bit of a wild card anyway because of his personality, but I really, really don't know what kind of a punch he's gonna have because again, same as Ichigo, he doesn't have something holding him back anymore, and he's communicating with his Zanpakuto now. So you have like these two people who are being held back and didn't weren't like getting the full potential of their Zanpakuto, and now they are. So I think that there's so much growth that's gonna happen with both of them that I don't think the Quincy's fully know what they're about to step into. Maybe they know better than I think that they do because they seemed to know more about Ichigo than any of his people around him. So we'll see. Um, just catching up on comments. Oh, you're going through a bit of a crisis. Look, I already have it when people are like, I I remember having the realization that 2012 was like 10 years ago, and I was like, oh my god. Like, okay, I don't know if I ever mentioned this before on the channel, but when I was teaching, I had a student who asked me very innocently, what my favorite YouTube channel was growing up. And I had to look at her and say, YouTube didn't exist when I was a child. And she gave me this look of horror and confusion, like I had just told her, like, the sky is actually green or something. And she looked at me and she said, "Not even the app?" And I'm like, how do I tell you apps didn't exist when I was a kid either? Like the poor darling. I go through a crisis of how old I am all the time. Some anime of the season that caught my attention. Um, I don't I didn't really explore it because I kind of dictate what I'm gonna watch based on what people ask me to watch. It's kind of dictated by people around me. I mean, season 2 of Vinland Saga, I'm gonna get to that as it comes out. Another show that's come up that everyone's talking about and I haven't watched, Tokyo Revengers. It seemed like such a big thing, and I didn't watch any of the episodes. But apparently, there's more of it. Um, haven't really explored it. I feel like maybe I'll have to properly explore what's coming out. What is everyone else watching this season? Give me some recommendations, and I'll explore some of it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like Hunter x Hunter, Fullmetal Alchemist 03, Soul Eater, and Bleach. How old am I? What era did I grow up in? Like when I'm like, you know what show I have so much nostalgia for? Cardcaptor Sakura. Like, cause I grew up with it. I grew up with Fullmetal Alchemist, okay? That's why 03 is my favorite. That was the one that came out that was the one I watched as the episodes are coming out. Which is why when people are like, Brotherhood, I'm like, I hear you, but Brotherhood didn't exist for years. I had years with this show. Same with like Hunter x Hunter. Like I know the new reboot show came out, which is the main one that I've watched. But there's also like the old one. I also talk about like Evangelion, like Cowboy Bebop. Like, how old am I? Oh my god. Just pointing out how old I feel. Old Scar. What are my thoughts on Mazaki being in the Ishida family? I mean, yeah, I have thoughts. I mean, the thoughts of her being part of the Ishida family, I think just makes me want to rethink the dynamic of like Ichigo and like Ishin's interactions with Ishidas that we've met so far. Again, one of those things where I'm like, I need to make some kind of character analysis of this and just like go through it. Um, yeah, I mean, and I also think that the Mizaki and Ishin relationship is like slightly complicated. Like there was definitely a part where I was watching, I'm like, is this creepy or is it adorable? Because she's really young and Ishin is not. But then they like there's that whole gap where they were just sort of friends, and I'm like, I feel slightly better about this. Because before I was like, she's a high schooler. And I feel a little bit weird, but I mean, look, there are lots of moments like that in anime where I'm like, can we not be the creepy old guy falling in love with a high school girl? Can we not do that? Can we take that trope out of anime? Thank you. I would appreciate it. Am I prepared? No. No. When have I ever been prepared? I love all of the characters too much, with a few exceptions. I mean, probably. I'd probably be like, why are you doing? I mean, I have that a lot with anime where I'm like, why are the children doing this? Like, don't you have, aren't there people in charge of taking care of this? Oh yeah, there's no Stampede was coming out. That is also true. I remember that. Um, I like how everyone's just having a crisis of like their age in the comments. I know it sneaks up on you. Like, look, I've gotten to the point where sometimes it is easier for me to measure events in my life in decades, and now I don't want to count how long it's been since something happened in my life. Like, it it's a whole crisis that I'm going through. Yeah, see, okay, I feel like I have to go through all of like the craziness of Ichigo's family tree because now we get the Kain thing. Now I get it. Oh, I didn't even bring up how the like Fullbringers were coming back, and I have a whole bunch of thoughts about what that's gonna be like. Ugh. Uh, Rukia Orihime? I mean, apparently I'm the most like Orihime, according to one quiz I took one time on the internet randomly. Um, but I mean, in terms of like characters that I like more, Rukia. I like Orihime though. I just feel like she doesn't get a chance to fully explore her powers. I feel like I'm a little bit salty about it. I feel like there's so much potential to her abilities, and we just don't spend any time with it. She just heals people, which is great, but she just I don't know. I want her to really go for it with her power. She's like god tier abilities and she just doesn't do anything with them. I mean, she's what shows I should watch? I mean, I try to kind of keep it open of I try to let the people decide what I'm going to watch as much as possible. Um but it doesn't always sometimes I have to make executive decisions because it's overwhelming. There's so many shows. I have so many on like a list that people have told me to check out that I don't even know where to start. Like I don't even know how to narrow it down to a poll sometimes. I mean, yeah, I'm like just it's probably not like on a maturity level that much of a difference in their age, but it still feels weird. But I mean, I was like, "Hey, Cardcaptor Sakura, fan of that show." Sakura's mom was a student of her dad's in high school, and then they got married and had kids. And that's so weird. It's so weird. I love that show, but I'm so thankful we do not focus on her dad like at all. He's barely there because it's so weird. Um yeah, I'm like that's kind of what I said. I'm like, is this weird? Because I was like, she's super young and I know that they end up together and I'm just like, is this gonna be creepy? And then it was like, oh, and then they knew each other for quite some time. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we've like I don't know, it still feels a little bit weird. It's still like I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit weird to me still. Cause like where was she gonna go? They were already tied together. Like they were stuck together regardless of whether or not they liked each other. And she was not around to be part of that decision making. I mean, I feel like she would have rather survived, but it still feels weird. Ooh, favorite. So like favorite race or like favorite abilities and stuff. Um, I think my favorite abilities are maybe full brain. I just think it's really cool. It looks cool. There's so many potentials in it. I feel like it reminds me a lot of like Nan in Hunter x Hunter, so that might be part of it too. um, but I also really like the aesthetic of like Espada. Like Ukeora is still like my favorite aesthetic of like any of the characters in that show. And Grimjo has one of my favorite aesthetics as well, just in terms of character design. Favorite Bleach opening? It's not really a fair thing for me to judge because one of the openings is Asian Kung Fu Generation, and I knew the song before I knew it was a Bleach opener, so that one. Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like I should do some polls. I'm kind of finishing some stuff up at the moment. So I'm gonna finish up Summertime Rendering that I started, and then the second part of Spy Family. And then I'm gonna be getting into the second season of Vinland Saga, but that also means that once I finish like one of the shows, once I finish I think Summertime Rendering, I'll have like a day free that well, I'm putting another show on the channel. So I might do a poll then, um, and see what shows people want. Well, maybe we'll have like a mass voting thing going on. I'll see. I'll figure out what I have some time to kind of figure out what I want to do with that. Yeah, look, it's weird, but at least we're like Aizen is the bad guy, right? We're like the the nice looking professor with the glasses is not a nice person in the end. I'm like, cool. So being super manipulative of like an impressionable young person, yeah, Aizen would do that. He definitely would. But like in Cardcaptor Sakura, we're supposed to think her dad is a good person, and he is also a brown-haired, nice-looking, bespectacled professor. And we're like, he is the good guy. He is someone that we care about deeply. And I'm like, he married one of his students. I feel like there's an ethics problem there. I just it's a whole thing. Well, I feel I've been streaming for an hour. Good gracious. I feel like that means I should probably stop soon then, because it's been a minute and I get super fidgety when I when I have to sit for too long. Um, but it's been a fun chat. We caught up on some things. We got to chat about some different stuff. Give some of my thoughts. I like getting to see your thoughts and chat with you guys. I feel like it's so much. I chat with in the Discord, so if you haven't joined the Discord, you should come over there and we have some fun conversations. But I feel like there's something else about streaming, and I should do it more often, and I want to do it more often. So definitely let me know if I don't know if this is something you like, if you have ideas about it. Um, I feel like I'm probably I don't know. I don't want to put too much out there. I'm like, I have ideas of things that I want to do this year with the channel, but I don't want to like say it out loud yet until I have actual plans. Um, but we'll hopefully be able to do this more because I stream all the time with patrons, and then I forget that I haven't been streaming to like the open public channel, and I'm just like, oh, right. Because in my brain, I stream like all the time, and then I'm like, but not with you guys. Cosplay is Unahana. I don't know if I'm scary enough. I've got the hair though, so I probably could do that. I feel like I'd need like contacts or something. Talk about my Nanao cosplay. It was impromptu and it was very heavily reliant on the fact that we already look exactly alike. It was weird to put makeup on again. It's been so long since I did makeup because I used to wear makeup like all the time, but now I work from home and I don't see people except like family. I don't go out because I don't have to. So it's I don't dress up anymore. I don't like get ready to go out places. I was I'm definitely gonna do tier lists again. I did one a long time ago, and I have a few ideas of tier lists that I want to do. So, and then people can judge me kindly, kindly judge me from a distance. You know, like my mom when I'm talking about something she doesn't understand, like that. Lisa cosplay. I mean, I do basically look like her. Anyway, look, I look. Y'all just want to see me in a schoolgirl uniform, don't you? That's probably what this is about. Okay. It's a weird note to end on, but I should end stream, let you guys get on with your weekend if it is morning like it is with me. Um, I'm probably gonna go and film some reaction stuff so that that'll be up on the channel soon. Um, and yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank you for everyone who came and chatted with me and heard my rambling thoughts of things that I've been thinking about for the last little while. Hopefully, I will be able to do more little streams like this where we'll get to chat and talk about things that are going on in anime and manga and things that I don't necessarily want to make like a whole video about because my videos are more reaction based than like um, chatty discussion kind of things. um, but I wanted to have a space to be able to talk about some of it. So hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye.